Jai Gurudev, and thank you for joining us today. Today, we are going to talk about the concept of an art of living teacher and what Gurudev has said. There is a YouTube video and what Gurudev has said about art of living teacher. So, let's begin the discussion. Today, we have with us an art of living expert and an officer of the Vedic Dhamma Sansthan. So, what does it mean to be an art of living teacher? Jai Gurudev, and thank you for joining us today. So, being an art of living teacher means carrying the light of Gurudev's vision into the world. It's not just about teaching pranayama, meditation, or Sudarshan Kriya. It's about embodying joy, compassion, and wisdom in everyday life. A teacher is expected to live the knowledge, not just speak about it. Students look at us not only for techniques but for inspiration through how we live, smile, and respond to challenges. With 40,000 teachers worldwide, the role is vast and diverse, yet at its heart, it remains about spreading happiness and peace. Now, from the Vedic perspective, a teacher or acharya is considered the pillar of dharma. The Shastras describe teachers as Deepastamba or pillars of light. They dispel darkness of ignorance and kindle inner fire of wisdom. Just as Gurudev said, a teacher must remain immersed in knowledge and meditation. Only then does their presence uplift others in society. Such teachers are equivalent to rishis of ancient times, bridges between scriptural wisdom and daily life. Now, why does Gurudev emphasize teachers as the pillars of the organization? Like the programs may come and go, structures may change, but teachers remain the backbone. Every teacher and each teacher represents Gurudev in their community. Without them, the knowledge cannot reach villages, cities, homes, and hearts. They are living ambassadors of the art of living. Gurudev emphasizes that teachers stay immersed in knowledge and practice because only then can they sustain their own energy while serving others. Now, the Vedas say Acharya Devo Bhava, consider the teacher as divine. A pillar supports an entire building, silently bearing weight without complaint. Likewise, teachers support society through seva, wisdom, and presence. If a teacher neglects knowledge or meditation, it is like weakening the foundation of a temple. Hence, Gurudev insists that teachers remain steady like lighthouses guiding ships in a storm. Now, what does the training of an art of living teacher involve? Yes, Jagadev, teacher training is not just academic, it is transformative. It involves deep practice of Sudarshan Kriya, Pranayama, meditation, Padma Sadhana, and knowledge points. Candidates are tested on their ability to handle responsibility, to manage their own emotions, and to teach with clarity. Beyond techniques, trainees cultivate humility, discipline, and devotion. Training often lasts weeks or months, followed by continuous mentoring under senior faculty. In ancient Gurukuls, disciples would serve the Guru, learn scriptures, and undergo tapasya before becoming acharyas. Art of Living's teacher training reflects this tradition. It's not just intellectual preparation, it is spiritual purification. Just as the clay pot must be baked in fire to become strong, trainees go through intense practice and seva before they can carry Gurudev's knowledge to the world. Now, with more than 60 plus Art of Living programs, how are teachers specialized? Yes, Jagudev, indeed, there are specialized trainings, Teachers for Happiness program, DSN, Yes Plus is for youth, RXL for children, corporate programs, Prison Smart, silence programs, Sehat Samadhi, and more. Each requires different skills. Working with kids needs creativity and patience, while working with corporate leaders requires confidence and adaptability. Teachers choose based on aptitude and interest, but core practices remain common: meditation, Sudarshan Kriya, and wisdom. In Vedic tradition, knowledge too was categorized. Some acharyas specialize in Yajurveda rituals, some in music, some in Ayurveda. Diversity of specialization enriches society. Similarly, these 60 plus programs represent the vast application of yoga, pranayama, and meditation in different contexts. Teachers become channels of Vedic wisdom for every section of society: children, youth, professionals, homemakers, even prisoners. Now, how important is a personal practice for a teacher? Absolutely central. A teacher cannot share what they don't live. Daily sadhana, pranayama, meditation, sudarshan kriya are the lifeline. When teachers practice, their energy stays high, their smile effortless, and their presence healing. If they stop, they burn out. Gurudev says, be soaked in knowledge and then share. That inner soakedness comes only from practice. The Bhagavad Gita emphasizes yoga karmasu kaushalam. Excellence in action arises from yoga. Without personal practice, a teacher becomes like a dry well, unable to give water. Daily sadhana keeps them as flowing rivers of wisdom in Vedic Dharma. This is called swadhyaya or constant self practice. Only then can they guide others authentically. Now, how does one balance teaching, seva, and personal life? The balance is natural when one is established in meditation. Teaching itself becomes a seva. Seva becomes joy, and personal life flows with lightness. Teachers learn to manage time efficiently. Many teachers also work in jobs or run families, yet they remain anchored through practices instead of separate compartments. Everything becomes integrated: family, work, and service. Now, the Grihastha ashram or householder stage teaches balance, dharma, artha, kam, and moksha. Teachers live these ideals by balancing worldly duties with spiritual practices. Seva is not outside life, it becomes part of life. Just like a lamp burns steadily while illuminating surroundings, teachers' lives remain steady while bringing light to others. Now, what qualities are essential to become a successful art of living teacher? Three qualities: sincerity in practice, humility, and willingness to serve. Techniques and skills can be trained, but the heart of a teacher is seva. Humility keeps the ego in check, sincerity sustains their growth, and service aligns them with Gurudev's mission. A teacher must also have patience, resilience, and the ability to connect with people across cultures and scriptures. An acharya is described with the qualities of shraddha or faith, and tapas or discipline, and daya or compassion, and jnana or wisdom. Art of Living teachers embody these. Their strength lies not in authority but in radiance. Like a tree that bends with fruits, a teacher must be humble, generous, and deeply rooted in knowledge. Now, how do Art of Living teachers spread happiness in society? Teachers conduct programs in villages, cities, corporates, schools, prisons, everywhere. But beyond programs, they spread happiness through their presence. Their smile uplifts, their calmness inspires, and their compassion heals. By resolving conflicts, volunteering during disasters, or simply listening to people, teachers become channels of peace. Now, spreading happiness is the highest yajna in Kali Yuga. Scriptures say, Paropkaram idam shariram. This body is meant for service. Teachers fulfill this by bringing relaxation, joy, and wisdom to people burdened by stress. They are like rivers nourishing fields. Wherever they flow, life blossoms. Now, how does being a teacher lead to one's own growth? Negative teaching is a mirror. When one guides others, we realize our own gaps and we go deeper into practice. Every class renews our understanding. Serving others keeps us egoless. Students' questions push us to study knowledge again. Most importantly, seeing transformation in others inspires us to stay committed to our own path. Now, in Vedic tradition, teaching is itself a sadhana. Knowledge deepens when shared. By teaching, one becomes dvija or born again into wisdom. As teacher uplifts others, that their own karmas dissolve, their compassion expands, and their hearts blossom. Gurudev's vision is realized in them, and their life becomes meaningful. Now, how do teachers handle challenges and criticism? Challenges come: logistical issues, social resistance, even false accusations. As seen during World Culture Festivals, teachers rely on inner strength from meditation. They don't get shaken easily. Gurudev has always shown us how to face storms with a smile. That smile itself disarms criticism. Now, in Mahabharata, Krishna says, Sthita Pragya is one who is unshaken by sorrow or criticism. Teachers embody this. They stand firm like mountains, unaffected by passing clouds or blame. Their devotion or bhakti gives them resilience. When anchored in self knowledge, no storm can uproot them. Challenges become opportunities for greater seva. Now, why does Gurudev say teachers must be like lighthouses? Gurudev beautifully compares teachers to lighthouses. A lighthouse does not run after ships. It simply stands tall, radiating light, guiding ships away from danger. Similarly, teachers must remain steady in their practice and radiance. People will naturally be drawn to them. If teachers waver or lose their grounding, they cannot guide others. A lighthouse shines even during storms, so teachers too must keep their inner lamp burning even amidst challenges. Now, in Vedic imagery, a teacher is a Deepa Stamba or a pillar of light. The lamp is not for itself but for others. A lighthouse stands alone on a rock, yet countless ships find direction from it. Likewise, in society, teachers stand as anchors of wisdom amidst chaos. They may face storms, but their light saves others from drowning in ignorance or despair. Now, how do teachers bring Gurudev's vision into action? Jagadev Gurudev's vision is of a stress free, violence free world. Teachers are his instruments to realize this. Every happiness program, Yes Plus course, Sehat Samadhi training, or Prison Smart workshop, or even Sehat Samadhi TTC workshop is Gurudev's compassion manifesting through teachers. We don't just represent him, we channel his vision through every smile we share and every life we touch. Now, in Vedic Dharma, a Guru's Sankalpa or resolve manifests through disciples. Gurudev's Sankalpa of global peace is enormous, but it flows through thousands of teachers. Just like thousands of rivers flow from the Himalayas, teachers are the streams of Gurudev's wisdom nourishing the world. Without them, the Guru's vision remains as thought through them. It becomes a living reality. Now, what inner transformation happens when one becomes a teacher. Jayavardhan, before becoming a teacher, one may practice for personal growth. After becoming a teacher, life becomes about others. This shift from me to we is the greatest transformation. Teachers experience joy in giving, their ego softens, and their awareness expands. Even problems look smaller compared to the joy of serving. The Upanishads say, Atmanam Vidhi Anyan Sevaya. One knows the self by serving others. Teaching is service at its highest. A teacher moves from being a seeker to being a giver. This transition purifies the heart, melts karmas, and awaken divine qualities like patience, compassion, and fearlessness. Now, how do teachers ensure they don't get burnt out? Burnout happens when service is disconnected from practice, but when a teacher does regular kriya, meditation, and silence, they are constantly recharged. Teaching becomes a joy, not a burden. Gurudev often says, don't be a candle burning out, be a sun shining forever. Teachers don't deplete when they are connected to the infinite source within. Now, in Vedic rituals, fire is sustained by ghee offerings. Similarly, a teacher's fire is sustained by practice and devotion. If they neglect it, they feel exhausted, but if they keep nurturing themselves through sadhana, they remain inexhaustible like the eternal flame or Akhanda Jyoti that never goes out. Now, how do Art of Living teachers reach villages and remote places? Many teachers volunteer to go to rural areas even when conditions are challenging. We have had programs in villages without electricity, in flooded areas, even in tribal belts. Teachers live with locals, eat their food, and conduct programs in open fields. They train youth leaders, empower women, and bring practices that improve health and community bonding. This is similar to how rishis in ancient times traveled barefoot into forests, mountains, and villages, carrying knowledge. They didn't wait for seekers to come, they went to where suffering was. Art of Living teachers carry that same spirit of outreach. They embody the principle of Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina, may all beings be happy. Now, how do teachers work with children and youth? Programs like RXL and Yes Plus are designed for younger generations. Teachers use fun games, music, meditation, and breathing practices to connect with children and youth. With teenagers, especially, teachers must be approachable, open minded, and non judgmental. Many students discover confidence, stress relief, and a new direction in life. Now, in Vedic tradition, Brahmacharya ashram or student life was considered the most important stage. Young minds must be nurtured with discipline, joy, and values. Art of Living teachers play that same role today, mentors guiding children and youth into strength, compassion, and clarity, balancing modern challenges with the ancient wisdom. Now, what role do teachers play during times of crisis? Whether it's natural disasters, pandemics, or community conflicts, teachers step in as first responders during COVID 19. Teachers conducted online meditations for millions in flood hit areas. They organized relief and trauma healing workshops. Their presence brings calm amidst chaos. They not only distribute material aid but also emotional strength. Now, in the Mahabharata, when wars or famine struck, the rishis performed yagyas and guided people to remain strong. Teachers today perform that same role. They conduct satsangs, healing practices, and prayers in crisis zones. Their resilience becomes the community's anchor. Truly, they are like Shipra Shanti Dayaka or givers of immediate peace. Now, how do teachers balance tradition with modernity? Teachers use ancient practices like pranayama and meditation but present them in a way that modern people can relate to. We may explain the science of breathing, neuroscience of meditation, or stress research to corporates while keeping the essence of tradition alive. The balance comes from being authentic yet adaptable. Vedic Dharma has always been dynamic. The rishis adapted yagyas, mantras, and teachings for each age. The core remains eternal, but the form adjusts to time and place. Art of Living teachers embody this flexibility, bringing timeless knowledge into boardrooms, classrooms, prisons, and villages without diluting its essence. Now, what keeps teachers motivated in the long run? The biggest motivation is seeing lives transform. When a depressed student smiles again, when a corporate leader learns to relax, when a prisoner discovers inner peace, these moments fuel teachers for years. Add to this the joy of Seva and Gurudev's guidance, and the journey feels ever fresh. In scripture, Seva and Bhakti are described as inexhaustible sources of joy. Unlike worldly pleasures that fade, the joy of giving grows with time. Teachers experience this daily. They see their lives as offerings to Gurudev and the divine. That sacredness itself keeps them inspired without fatigue. Now, how does the Vedic idea of seva align with being a teacher? Now, the teaching is seva in its purest form. We don't teach for money or recognition. We teach to uplift people. Every class is an act of service. Every breath we guide someone through is seva. Gurudev reminds us that seva keeps us light and teaching is a golden opportunity to serve. Now, the Shastras say seva is the highest form of worship. A teacher embodies this principle by giving knowledge selflessly. Just as ghee poured into yagya fire benefits the entire community, teaching spreads peace in society. This is Jnana Yagya, the offering of wisdom. Art of Living teachers perform this yagya daily. Now, what is the unique role of Shri Shri Sanskar Kendra teachers? Yes, Jagadev, the Shri Shri Sanskar Kendra teachers are entrusted with sowing the seeds of Dharma in young minds. They teach children Vedic mantras, Sanskrit shlokas, bhajans, yoga, and basic meditation in a joyful way. Their role is not just academic but deeply cultural, building pride in India's spiritual heritage while keeping it practical for modern children. They are role models who balance playfulness with discipline, ensuring kids grow with strong values and confidence. In the Vedic system, samskaras or cultural impressions were given right from childhood. Upanayana, mantra chanting, Sandhya Vandanam. Sanskar Kendra teachers continue this tradition. They are the modern day Gurukul Acharyas. By guiding children early. They shape character, instill respect for parents and society, and awaken devotion. Their contribution ensures that the next generation does not forget its roots while excelling globally. Now, how are Shri Shri Sanskar Kendra teachers trained? They undergo specialized training in Sanskrit chanting, pronunciation of mantras, pedagogy for children, and techniques to make learning joyful. They also learn how to integrate art of living practices like breathing, meditation, and knowledge points into simple formats for kids. Continuous mentoring keeps them aligned with Gurudev's vision. Now, in ancient Gurukuls, teachers trained for years in Swadhyaya or self-study, Anusthana, or daily practice and Adhyapana or teaching method. Sanskar Kendra training reflects this. It emphasizes not just intellectual learning but spiritual purity. Only a teacher grounded in sadhana can pass on vibrations of mantras correctly. Thus, their preparation is both technical and spiritual. Now, why is it important for children to learn mantras from these teachers? Mantras calm the mind, improve concentration, and uplift emotions. When children chant early, they develop clarity, focus, and inner joy. Teachers ensure correct pronunciation and meaning so children connect deeply instead of rote learning. This foundation prevents stress, builds confidence, and keeps values strong amidst modern distractions. Mantras are vibrations that purify the subtle body. The Vedas declare mantra is the breath of the rishis. If learned wrongly, their effect diminishes. Sanskar Kendra teachers preserve this accuracy by transmitting mantras with devotion and discipline. They are giving children the same blessings the ancient rishis gave their disciples. Now, how do Sanskar Kendra teachers balance tradition with children's interest? Children today love stories, games, and creativity. Teachers bring mantras and values alive through storytelling, role plays, art, and fun chanting. For example, teaching Hanuman Chalisa through melody or linking Gita shlokas with real life lessons. This makes tradition relatable. The balance is joy plus discipline. Our shastras are full of stories of Ramayana, Mahabharata, Puranas. They were not meant as dry texts but living lessons. Teachers revive this method. They don't impose, they inspire. In this way, children don't feel burdened, they feel proud of heritage and enjoy the process of learning. Now, how do Sudarshan Kriya and the Sanskar Kendra teachers contribute to nation building? Jagadev, they shape the citizens of tomorrow. Children trained in values, discipline, and compassion grow into responsible adults. These children become leaders who are ethical, resilient, and service oriented. Teachers are, in fact, silently shaping the future of India by molding one child at a time. The Chandogya Upanishad says, Yatha Raja Tatha Praja, as the leader, so the people, but equally, Yatha Shishya Samskara Tatha Bhavisha Rashtra. As a samskar of students, so the future of the nation. Sanskar Kendra teachers are nation builders. They ensure dharma continues unbroken and society blossoms with noble citizens. Now, how do teachers ensure inclusivity in Sri Sri Sanskar Kendra? These centers welcome children from all backgrounds, irrespective of caste, religion, or social class. Teachers emphasize universal values like truth, compassion, respect, joy, while teaching mantras as sounds of peace, not dogma. Children feel included and parents see it as a safe, holistic environment. Vedic Dharma is inherently universal. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the world is one family. Sanskar Kendra teachers uphold the spirit. They teach mantras not as sectarian rituals, but as vibrations that benefit all. Inclusivity is not a strategy here, it is the natural essence of Dharma. Now, what challenges do Sanskar Kendra teachers face? Modern parents often prioritize academics or gadgets over culture. Teachers must gently convince them of the benefits of mantras and values. Keeping children engaged in a world of distractions is also a challenge, yet their creativity and commitment help overcome these hurdles in every age. Dharma teachers faced challenges. Kings who oppose rituals, societies drifting from values. Sanskar Kendra teachers today face the challenge of modernity's excesses, but Dharma has survived because of such committed torchbearers. Their patience and perseverance ensure children don't lose connection to their roots. Now, how do Sanskar Kendra teachers collaborate with parents? Teachers conduct parent meetings, explain the benefits of chanting, and even involve parents in simple practices. Parents often notice improved focus, calmness, and respect in their children, which builds a trust. Some parents themselves get inspired to join art of living programs. Now, in the Vedic system, Guru, Shishya, and parents work together. Education was never outsourced entirely. Sanskar Kendra continues this. Teachers guide parents to reinforce values at home, daily prayers, respect for elders, mindful routines. It becomes a holistic ecosystem where child, parent, and teacher grow together. Now, how do these teachers ensure correct transmission of knowledge? They are trained in Sanskrit pronunciation and guided by senior faculty. Regular refresher sessions ensure accuracy. They also encourage children to repeat mantras with focus, correcting gently. Recordings, group practices, and mentoring ensure that knowledge is not diluted. The Vedic parampara is oral transmission. Guru to Shishya, sound must be precise. Sanskar Kendra teachers respect this sacred chain. By maintaining Shraddha or devotion and Shuddhata or purity, they ensure what is given to children is authentic, unbroken, and aligned with ancient wisdom. Now, how do Sanskar Kendra teachers keep themselves inspired? They draw inspiration from Gurudev's vision, from seeing children transform, and from their own sadhana. Teachers often share stories of shy children becoming confident chanters or restless kids becoming calm. These results fuel their passion. Regular satsangs, silence programs, and teacher gatherings keep their energy high. Now, in Dharma, teaching itself is tapasya. The joy of offering knowledge sustains the teacher. Scriptures say, Anandat eva khalu imani bhutani jayate. All arises from bliss. Sanskar Kendra teachers immerse in this bliss through seva and bhakti. Their inspiration is divine, not dependent on external rewards. Now, what makes Sri Sri Sanskar Kendra teachers unique among the 60 plus types of art of living teachers? Jagadav, Sri Sri Sanskar Kendra teachers hold a very special place in the global teacher community because they are working with children during the most formative years of life. While other art of living teachers may focus on youth, professionals, or senior citizens, Sanskar Kendra teachers are planting the very seeds of values, devotion, discipline, and joy in young hearts. Their role is not just to teach stories from Ramayana, Mahabharata, or Puranas, but to make these living experiences imbibed with chanting, singing bhajans, yoga, meditation, and playful knowledge. They embody Gurudev's vision that character building should begin early. Now, from the perspective of the Vedic tradition, Sanskar Kendras revive the ancient Gurukul spirit in a modern setting. In earlier times, children learn not only literacy but also dharmic values, rituals, and respect for nature. Sanskar Kendra teachers are like modern day rishis and rishikas, guiding children in sanskaras such as mantra recitation, Gayatri Japa, simple pujas, and moral discipline. What makes them unique is their dual training. They are trained as art of living teachers in practices like Sudarshan Kriya and meditation, but also specifically groomed to teach children in a joyful, value based way. They are not just educators, they are custodians of dharmic heritage and nurturers of tomorrow's leaders. Now, what kind of training does one undergo to become a Sri Sri Sanskar Kendra teacher? Jagadev, the training for Sri Sri Sanskar Kendra teachers is holistic. First, a person must already be deeply engaged in art of living practices like regular sadhana, kriya, seva, and satsang. Then they undergo specialized teacher training where they learn how to engage children through interactive storytelling, bhajans, shlokas, yoga, games, and activities. They are trained not just in content but in delivery, how to bring joy, patience, and love into every interaction. Gurudev emphasizes that a Sanskar Kendra teacher must be like a lighthouse, radiating compassion and enthusiasm so the children feel inspired. Additionally, Sanskar Kendra teachers are oriented into the cultural and scriptural foundation of education. They learn how to teach basic sanskaras, respect for parents, teachers, elders, and nature. They are trained in chanting Gayatri Mantra, explaining its meaning, and guiding children into practices like Trikal Sandhya and Agnihotra in a simplified form. The training emphasizes patience as children learn best when teachers embody what they teach. They must be role models, living examples of dharmic conduct, simplicity, and joy. Their training is therefore both pedagogical and spiritual. Now, why did Gurudev Shri Shri Ravi Shankarji place such importance on Shri Shri Sanskar Kendra teachers? Jagadev Gurudev often says, catch them young. Children are like fresh clay. Whatever values you imprint on them at an early age stays for life. He envisioned Shri Shri Sanskar Kendra teachers and Kendras as places where children are not only educated but also rooted in dharma, culture, and humanity. Teachers here are chosen carefully because they are shaping future generations. Their patience, love, and wisdom form the foundation of the student's character. Gurudev emphasizes that knowledge, sadhana, and seva should flow through these teachers like a natural fragrance, so children naturally imbibe them without feeling pressured. Now, in Vedic tradition, the role of the acharya was considered even higher than that of the parents because while parents give life, the teacher gives values and direction. Gurudev revived this ancient system through Shri Shri Sanskar Kendra teachers. They carry forward samskaras such as Shraddha or faith, Satya or truth, Seva or selfless service, and Shanti or peace. Gurudev knew that in modern times many children lack such grounding. That is why he empowered Sanskar Kendra teachers to act as bridges, connecting timeless Vedic wisdom with the aspirations of today's youth. Now, what daily practices are recommended for Shri Sanskar Kendra teachers to maintain their own balance? For a Sanskar Kendra teacher, self practice is the foundation. Daily Sudarshan Kriya, Pranayama, and meditation keep the mind calm and the energy high. Without this, it is very difficult to inspire children because kids quickly sense authenticity. Teachers are also encouraged to chant mantras like the Gayatri Mantra and scriptures like Bhakti Sutras or Ashtavakra Gita and participate in satsangs regularly. By keeping their own light burning, they naturally radiate enthusiasm and clarity to their students. From the Vedic standpoint, Trikal Sandhya or prayers at dawn, noon, and dusk is highly recommended. Teachers also benefit from simple Agnihotra rituals and daily Guru Puja, which connects them to the lineage of masters. Just as a lamp cannot burn without oil, a teacher cannot inspire without their own sadhana. These practices nourish the subtle body, keep the intellect sharp, and ensure that whatever they teach is not mere words but lived experience. Children absorb vibrations, not lectures, so maintaining purity of mind and regularity of practice is essential. Now, how do Shri Shri Sanskar Kendra teachers impact the families of the children they teach? Jagadev, the influence of Samskar Kendra teachers extends beyond the classroom. When children start chanting mantras, practicing yoga, or narrating moral stories at home, parents also feel inspired. Many families who had lost touch with tradition reconnect through their children. Teachers indirectly become catalysts of family transformation. Gurudev often mentions how an enlightened person in a family uplifts the entire household. A Sanskar Kendra child guided by a dedicated teacher becomes that enlightened spark in their home. Indeed, the Vedic system always considered education as family oriented, not just individual. When a child learns respect, cleanliness, discipline, and devotion, the whole household reflects it. We have seen families restarting Gayatri Japa, performing simple pujas, and even attending satsangs because their children brought the practice home. Teachers, therefore, become silent reformers of society by transforming homes one child at a time. In many villages, the ripple effect of one Sanskar Kendra teacher has revived their lost cultural traditions. Now, what qualities are essential for becoming a Shri Shri Sanskar Kendra teacher? The foremost quality is patience. Children can be restless, curious, and playful, and a teacher must be able to channel that energy without frustration. Secondly, compassion and love are crucial. When children feel loved, they blossom. Thirdly, discipline and authenticity. Teachers must live what they teach. A teacher who chants Gayatri, practices pranayama, and meditates will naturally inspire children without effort. Finally, creativity. Sanskar Kendra classes are not about rote learning but about engaging children through stories, activities, and joy. From the Vedic perspective, the most important quality is Shraddha or faith and Nishtha or commitment. A teacher must have reverence for the knowledge they are imparting. Children sense sincerity. If the teacher truly honors the mantra, shlokas, and values, the same reverence will grow in the students. Another quality is Tyaga or selflessness. A teacher works not for recognition but for the upliftment of society. Gurudev often says a teacher is a lighthouse. To be that lighthouse, one must shine steadily regardless of storms. Now, how does the Sanskar Kendra teachers balance traditional values with modern education needs? This is a very important question because today's children live in a digital world. Sanskar Kendra teachers are trained to blend themselves and timeless wisdom with modern relevance. For example, while teaching a story from the Ramayana, they may highlight leadership qualities of Lord Rama that apply to school teamwork or modern professions like AI and machine learning, and what are the skills needed for the future. You guys explain not just as a religious practice but as a way to stay fit and focused. In this way, children learn to see that dharma is not outdated, it is a practical guidance for life. Now, in the Vedic tradition, knowledge was never opposed to progress. The rishis studied astronomy, mathematics, Ayurveda, and music while deeply rooted in dharma. Similarly, Sanskar Kendra teachers encourage children to excel in academics while staying grounded in spiritual values. They emphasize that honesty, discipline, and respect will make them better scientists, engineers, or artists. The balance is natural when dharma is taught not as a restriction but as a guiding light for success in the modern world. Now, how do the Shishi Sanskar Kendra teachers ensure inclusivity across religions and cultures? Gurudev has always emphasized that the art of living is beyond religion. It's about human values. Sanskar Kendra teachers follow the same principle. While the framework is based on Indian culture, the essence taught is universal: respect, love, honesty, non-violence, and compassion. Many children from different faiths attend Sanskar Kendras and feel equally welcome. Teachers highlight the common thread of spirituality, that all religions aim for peace and harmony. By focusing on values rather than dogma, they create an environment where diversity is celebrated. Now, the Vedic Dharma itself is inclusive. It says, Ekam Satvipra Bahuda Vadanti. Truth is one, sages call it by many names. Sanskar Kendra teachers embody this principle when they chant Gayatri Mantra. They explain it as a universal prayer for enlightenment, not as a sectarian chant. They celebrate festivals like Diwali or Guru Purnima as cultural heritages that belong to humanity, not restricted to one group. In this way, they preserve Vedic wisdom while fostering unity among diverse communities. Now, what role does storytelling play in Sanskar Kendra teaching? Jayadev's storytelling is at the heart of Sanskar Kendra teaching. Children remember stories much more than lectures. A teacher narrates tales from the Ramayana, Mahabharata, Panchatantra, and lives of saints in a fun and interactive manner. For example, instead of saying be truthful, they tell the story of Harishchandra. Instead of saying be courageous, they tell the story of Hanumana crossing the ocean. Through stories, values are not imposed but experienced. Gurudev often says knowledge should be like a song, not a burden. Storytelling achieves exactly that. Now, in our Shastras, the Itihasa and Puranas were designed for precisely this purpose, transmitting wisdom through stories. Children learn about devotion, sacrifice, courage, and humility without feeling like they are being taught. A Sanskar Kendra teacher who narrates with bhava or feeling becomes like a sage, igniting imagination and faith. Storytelling also connects children to their cultural roots and helps them develop pride in their heritage. In today's fast paced world, this oral tradition keeps Dharma alive in a very accessible form. Now, how do the Shishi Sanskar Kendra teachers cultivate discipline in children without being harsh? Jayadev, discipline is necessary, but in art of living, it is cultivated through love, not fear. Sanskar Kendra teachers set gentle boundaries while keeping the environment joyful. For instance, children may be taught to sit quietly for a few minutes before starting class by closing their eyes and chanting Om. This simple practice builds focus without scolding. Teachers encourage good behavior through appreciation rather than punishment. When children experience the joy of meditation and chanting, discipline naturally follows. Now, in the Vedic tradition, discipline was called Anushasan, or meaning to follow with reverence, and it was never meant to be harsh. Teachers in Sanskar Kendras embody this principle. They lead by example, arriving on time, being respectful, staying calm. Children imitate what they see. A teacher who embodies serenity will create serenity in the classroom. Discipline is thus not forced, it is inspired. This aligns with Gurudev's vision that learning should always happen in an atmosphere of love, not fear. Now, what does it mean to be an art of living teacher in Gurudev's vision? Jayadev, to be an art of living teacher is to be a pillar of Gurudev's global mission. Gurudev has often said that teachers are like lighthouses. Wherever they go, they should radiate light and guidance. It means not just conducting programs, but embodying the values of knowledge, meditation, and service. People everywhere are looking for happiness, peace, and fulfillment, but most only seek to take. Gurudev wants art of living teachers to be givers, givers of joy, wisdom, and comfort. Whoever comes into contact with the teacher should feel uplifted. Now, in Vedic tradition, the guru or acharya is revered because they shape not just an individual, but society itself. Art of living teachers fulfill this role in the modern age. Their responsibility is not merely to impart techniques like Sudarshan Kriya or Pranayama, but to carry forward the dharmic mission of spreading peace, harmony, and universal brotherhood. Gurudev has given the world over 60 types of programs, and each teacher becomes a channel of that knowledge. To be a teacher is to live in seva, shraddha, faith, and sadhana. Now, why does Gurudev emphasize that teachers must remain immersed in knowledge and meditation? Gurudev says that if a teacher stops meditating and engaging with knowledge, it is a great loss not only for themselves but for society. Knowledge is like water. If it flows, it stays fresh, but if it stagnates, it decays. A teacher who regularly revisits Bhakti Sutras, Ashtavakra Gita, or Yoga Vasistha remains inspired, and this inspiration translates into their teaching. Meditation and pranayama keep their mind centered so they can face challenges without being shaken. Now, from the Vedic perspective, a teacher must be a living example of samyam or self discipline and sadhana. Ancient acharyas practiced recalls in their and daily rituals to remain attuned to truth. Similarly, an art of living teacher must remain anchored in spiritual practices. This constant immersion ensures that when challenges arise, whether criticism, organizational hurdles, or personal struggles, they can face them with a smile, as Gurudev demonstrated during the World Culture Festival in Delhi. Knowledge and meditation make teachers unshakable pillars. Now, with 40,000 teachers worldwide, how do they sustain the same vision? The secret lies in Gurudev's vision being universal, whether in a small village in India or a corporate office in the US. Everyone seeks happiness, peace, and belonging. The 40,000 plus teachers are united by their own sadhana and the techniques they share: breathing practices, meditation, yoga, wisdom, and service. Through regular teacher refreshers, global gatherings, and satsangs, they remain connected to Gurudev's energy. Teachers are encouraged to see themselves not as isolated individuals but as part of one vast family carrying the light forward. Now, in the Vedic Parampara, disciples around the world shared the same mantras and rituals, maintaining unity despite distance. Art of Living follows the same tradition. Gurudev's teachings are timeless. Thus, teachers across continents feel the same inspiration. The bond of Guru Shishya Parampara is what sustains life. And them, even if thousands of miles apart, they remain in sync because they are connected by devotion, knowledge, and seva. This collective consciousness ensures that the mission does not dilute but only grow stronger. Now, what does it take to prepare for becoming an art of living teacher? It begins with the personal transformation. Before one can guide others, one must be firmly rooted in daily practices like Sudarshan Kriya, meditation, pranayama, and seva. Then comes the teacher training program or the TTP, an intense and immersive experience where aspirants undergo deep sadhana, learn teaching methodologies, and cultivate leadership qualities. Gurudev ensures that teachers are not only technically sound but also carry the right attitude of humility, compassion, and joy. Without these, one may deliver knowledge but not touch hearts. Now, the preparation resembles the ancient Gurukul system. A student undergoes tapasya, a dedicated practice, before becoming a guide. In Vedic times, years of brahmacharya and service prepared one to teach. Similarly, art of living teachers first immerse themselves in seva and spiritual discipline. Only when they are grounded in self knowledge are they interested to carry forward Gurudev's work. This ensures purity of transmission. What they give is not borrowed knowledge but lived experience. With over 60 plus types of art of living teachers, what makes each role unique? Jayagurudev, each type of teacher caters to a specific audience: children, youth, women, corporate employees, prison inmates, or rural communities. For example, a Yes Plus teacher focuses on empowering young adults with tools for leadership and stress free living, while a prison program teacher works in environments of trauma and aggression. Despite the diversity, the essence remains the same: sharing breath, meditation, and wisdom to bring peace. The uniqueness lies in how the teachings are tailored to the audience. Now, this reflects the Vedic principle of Adhikar Veda. Knowledge must be given according to the capacity of the seeker. A child, a student, and a CEO all need Dharma but in different forms. Art of Living teachers embody this principle by becoming specialists in their area. Some revive samskaras in children, sanskar kendra. Others bring yoga into corporate halls, and others make meditation into villages and take meditation into villages. Each role is unique, yet all flow from the same source of Gurudev's vision. Now, how does being an art of living teacher differ from just being a practitioner? A practitioner benefits personally from sadhana, sudarshan kriya, pranayama, and meditation. Their life improves, they experience peace, joy, and resilience. But a teacher goes one step further. They share this joy with others. Being a teacher is about becoming a channel, a medium through which Gurudev's wisdom and techniques reach thousands of people. It is not just about self transformation, but also about being an instrument of social transformation. The sense of responsibility deepens. You are no longer meditating only for your own well being, but to strengthen yourself so you can hold space for others. That's why Gurudev says teachers should be like lighthouses, steady, glowing, and guiding. Exactly, in our tradition, teaching has always been considered the noblest dharma and profession. A guru or acharya carries the lineage of wisdom forward. Similarly, an art of living teacher is not just teaching yoga or breathing exercises. They are carrying forward Vedic dharma in a modern practical form. Their conduct, discipline, and humility matters as much as their technical skills. A teacher has to embody the knowledge that embodiment inspires people more than words. Hence, becoming a teacher is a sacred responsibility, not merely a designation. Now, what inner qualities must one cultivate to become an effective art of living teacher? Jai Gurudev, the first and foremost quality is humility. A teacher must always remember that they are just an instrument, and the knowledge is Gurudev says if pride enters, a flow of grace reduces. The second is compassion, a genuine love for people and a desire to uplift them. Without compassion, teaching becomes mechanical. The third is discipline, both in personal sadhana and lifestyle. If a teacher skips meditation, neglects Sudarshan Kriya, or compromises on integrity, their ability to transmit knowledge weakens. Finally, there must be courage and resilience. Challenges will arise. Sometimes people will criticize, sometimes logistics will fail, sometimes students will resist, but a teacher must remain centered. Now, from the Vedic perspective, we call these qualities adhikara, the eligibility to carry knowledge. A teacher should cultivate shraddha or faith, titiksha or forbearance, and vairagya or non attachment. Faith keeps you rooted, forbearance helps you face difficulties without losing balance, and non attachment prevents ego from creeping in. These are timeless values from our scriptures, which Gurudev has beautifully woven into the modern role of an art of living teacher. Such qualities ensure that wherever the teacher goes, they bring peace and light just as Gurudev envisioned. Now, how do teachers balance their personal spiritual journey with the responsibility of teaching others? It's a common question. The truth is, teaching and personal growth are not separate, they nourish each other. When you teach, you are reminded of the knowledge again and again. You must embody it, otherwise, your words won't carry part. Every time you sit in front of students, it's a mirror for your own growth. But to balance it, teachers must prioritize their own sadhana. Gurudev insists don't stop meditating, don't leave your practice. If the inner battery is not charged, you cannot light up others. So, daily meditation, prayer, and satsang are non negotiable. This is similar to how ancient rishis lived. They taught disciples, guided kings, and engaged with society, yet they maintained their tapasya. In the same way, an art of living teacher should not see teaching as a distraction from their spiritual path. Rather, it is an extension of it. Every act of sharing knowledge becomes seva, and seva itself is sadhana. When both are combined, the teacher grows faster because serving others purifies the ego and strengthens one's connection to the divine. Now, how does the training process prepare one to embody Gurudev's vision of being a guiding lamp? The teacher training course or the TTC is designed to break our comfort zones. It's not just about learning how to lead Kriya or explain techniques, it's about cultivating presence. We are trained to handle silence, to manage a room full of diverse participants, and to radiate joy irrespective of circumstances. The TTC pushes you to face your own limitations, whether it's shyness, fear, or lack of confidence. When you cross those barriers with Gurudev's grace, you naturally shine like a lighthouse. The TTC also emphasizes seva. Teachers are reminded that their life is for service, selfless service, and the more they live in this attitude, the more they embody Gurudev's words. This reflects the ancient Guru Shishya Parampara. In the old days, a disciple would live with the Guru for years, serving and imbibing not only knowledge but also the Guru's presence. TTC compresses that essence for modern seekers. The training doesn't just give intellectual skills, it instills bhava or attitude. The teacher comes out with a sense of being a channel of light, just as the Guru is. This way, wherever they go, they uplift society with inner strength and outer compassion. Now, Gurudev often emphasizes that teachers should remain immersed in knowledge. Why is this so crucial? Because knowledge is like water, you must keep drinking it to stay refreshed. If a teacher stops revisiting knowledge, they dry up and their words lose freshness. Gurudev says, don't think just because you heard Ashtavakra or Bhakti Sutras once, it is enough. Each time we revisit, we discover new depths because our own consciousness has evolved. When a teacher stays immersed, their presence alone communicates wisdom. On the other hand, if they disconnect from knowledge, they risk becoming superficial. In Vedic terms, this is a natya or nitya adhyayana or daily study. Our scriptures prescribe it for all seekers, but even more for those who guide others. Just as a lamp must be refilled with oil, a teacher must be refilled with knowledge. Otherwise, the flame diminishes. Gurudev has made it easy by offering diverse knowledge series, commentaries, and satsangs. An art of living teacher has an abundance of wisdom to drink from. If they stay connected, they remain radiant forever. Now, what role does a personal discipline play in the life of an art of living teacher? Jagadev, discipline is the backbone. Without it, consistency falters, and so does the ability to inspire others. Discipline here doesn't mean rigidity, it means showing up daily for your practices, honoring commitments, and balancing seva with family life. For example, if a teacher regularly skips Kriya, participants will sense the difference. A teacher's energy transmits more than their words, Gurudev often says. A teacher should walk the talk. This requires steady discipline and lifestyle. Food, sleep, sadhana, and service. Yes, in the Vedic framework, this is called Anushasana or self regulation. Patanjali also begins the Yoga Sutras with Atha Yoga Anushasanam. Now begins the discipline of yoga. For teachers, discipline is not restrictive, it is liberating. It gives strength, stamina, and stability. Without discipline, the lamp flickers. With discipline, the lamp shines steadily, no matter how strong the winds of the world. Now, how do art of living teachers handle challenges and criticism while staying joyful? Jagadev, challenges come in every course, whether logistical, financial, or interpersonal. Sometimes society may misunderstand us, sometimes authorities may resist, sometimes even students may question, but a teacher is trained to remain centered. Gurudev says, keep smiling through the storms. We draw strength from our practices. When the breath is calm, the mind stays unshaken. Also, when we remember that we are only instruments, criticism doesn't stick. It flows past like clouds in the sky. This strength is what the Gita calls sthita pragya, the steady intellect. Gurudev often reminds us that devotion or bhakti gives a strength that nothing can shake. Just as in the World Culture Festival, despite storms of criticism, the community stood firm, smiling and completed the event magnificently. The same applies at an individual level for every teacher. Anchored in devotion and knowledge, they rise above challenges and radiate joy, inspiring others by example. Now, what makes the Shri Shri Sanskar Kendra teachers unique among Art of Living teachers? Jagadev, the Sanskar Kendra teachers have the delicate responsibility of shaping the future generation. Unlike other programs where adults come voluntarily, children are impressionable and absorb everything they sponges. That like sponges, these teachers not only teach Vedic mantras, shlokas, bhajans, and cultural values, but also instill joy, curiosity, and confidence in children. Their task is not to impose but to gently guide, ensuring the child feels proud of their heritage while remaining open to the modern world. A Sanskar Kendra teacher is both a mentor and a role model for children. From the Sanstansa's perspective, this role is most sacred. In the Vedas, it is said that Balasya Palanam Gurunam Kartavyam. The protection and nurturing of children is the duty of teachers. The future of Dharma depends on the sanskar or values imparted in childhood. A sanskar Kendra teacher ensures that the children learn Gayatri Mantra, respect for parents, service attitude, and love for the divine. They are literally planting seeds that will grow into strong trees of society. Now, how do the Sanskar Kendra teachers integrate ancient wisdom with the modern education? The integration is seamless. Classes include chanting, storytelling from the Ramayana or Mahabharata, and value based activities. But at the same time, children are encouraged to ask questions and express themselves. The teacher creates an environment where ancient wisdom is presented in a joyful, relatable way. For example, explaining the Gayatri Mantra not just as a chant but as a prayer for clarity of intellect, or narrating Hanuman's courage in Sundarkand to inspire confidence in exams and life. In this way, children learn that spirituality is not separate from modern life, it enriches it. Now, yes, this balance is the essence of Sanatana Dharma. The Vedas were never opposed to progress. They always embraced innovation while holding values strong. A Sanskar Kendra teacher embodies this balance. They ensure that while children study science and mathematics in schools, they also learn inner sciences like breath, mind, devotion, and ethics. This holistic upbringing is what makes a child blossom into a responsible, happy, and capable adult. Now, what qualities are most important for a Shri Shri Sanskar Kendra teacher to embody? Patience and love above all. Children sense authenticity instantly. They may not listen to every word, but they absorb the energy of the teacher. If the teacher radiates joy, children learn joy. If the teacher shows respect, children learn respect. So, a Sanskar Kendra teacher must embody values, not just speak about them. Creativity is also key. Teaching must be playful, using songs, stories, drawings, and games. Finally, discipline with gentleness. Children thrive when boundaries are set with kindness, not fear. Now, in the Vedic system, teaching children was entrusted only to those with a high purity of conduct because a child learns more by example than instruction. A Sanskar Kendra teacher must have a sattvic lifestyle, regular sadhana, and a heart full of compassion. They must also be rooted in knowledge so that when a child asks, why do we chant Om? The teacher can answer meaningfully. These qualities ensure that the values imparted are not superficial but deeply transformative. Now, how do the Sanskar Kendra teachers contribute to society at large? Their impact is exponential. A single teacher may guide 30 children, but each child carries those values into their home, influencing parents, siblings, and even friends over years. This creates a ripple effect where entire communities become more compassionate, disciplined, and rooted in culture. Moreover, these children grow up to be responsible citizens, professionals, leaders, and parents who carry forward the sanskara. In this way, a sanskar kendra teachers indirectly shapes the destiny of society for generations. Now, this is why the Sansthan sees the Sanskar Kendras as modern Gurukuls. In the past, rishis nurtured students in ashrams, and those students became the torch bearers of Dharma. Today, the world has changed, but the principle is the same. The teacher is sowing seeds of dharma, seva, and spirituality in young hearts. These seeds grow silently, and years later, society reaps the harvest of peace and harmony. It is one of the highest forms of seva. Now, how is the Sanskar Kendra teachers prepare themselves before engaging with children?